this is John Rowland. I'm going to shoot yet another little video here for you guys. If you're replacing your feed dogs, we see a lot of saws where people put a new set of feed dogs in, but if they don't know how to adjust them right, then they'll wear out prematurely. And we want you to get the maximum amount of life out of your equipment that you can. So what I got is I got a 24 here. I'm putting a set of feed dogs in it. It's nice and clean because it's new, but the process is the same. Now, I set the plate in here, and then I can pull my carriage forward and pick up my holes. There's 3 bolts that hold the plate on. In the 14, there's only 2. In the 36, there's 4, but all of them bolt up pretty much the same way. Now the plate's got some clearance in it, so it can adjust and, you know, adapt to the position of the feed screw. So what's most important in this is that when the dogs close on the feed screw,
move your hand there.
When these dogs close on the feed screw, that they're not pushing it down or pulling it up. So the first thing I do is I get the dogs on there. Then I'm going to put the spring on. Now, some people have a lot of problem putting the spring on. It is a little bit of a trick because the spring's got a fair amount of tension on it. So part of what I do is the handle, you'll see the handle normally wants to push the dogs open. So I put them together like that. I hook the spring on one side on the screw there, and then I come over the other side. And of course, I make it look easy, and you guys are going to get yours and you go, how the hell did he do that? But basically the real trick is get your dog splitter out of the middle of these so they can come together. Then you got a little tension right here holding it in position, and then when you open it, you'll see it's floating around now. Now what I like to do is I like to bring it up as close to the front as I can and then lock it. Now I do that for a reason, because when you're out in the middle of this shaft, if you see, I'll roll it back here so you can see. If you're in the middle of the shaft, it's pretty easy to, you know, flex that shaft a little bit off of position. But when you come up to the front, you're not moving that at all up here. So when I adjust, I like to adjust as close to the front as possible. What that does for me is it ensures that I am putting the center of those feed dogs right, you know, on that shaft in alignment with the carriage. Now, so I leveled the plate a little bit till I get kind of in the middle position, so I'm not all flop one way or the other way. It can rotate a little bit. Now what I'm doing is just tightening these bolts a little bit, and I sneak them up on the position so I don't, you know, bump it out of place as I'm starting to tighten them. Getting to where I'm just about all tightened up on it. And now what that does for me is I got my feed dogs, the center line of that insert is now on the center line of this. So when I open and close, I don't see that shaft deflecting. Now the other adjustment, the second adjustment here is you'll notice this pivot plate here for the handle. If you push it one way or another, it changes the gap on the right and the left. And if you have it a little off, then maybe it you know, you'll get that dragging sound when you're coming in forward and back. So what I like to do is open it up, pick this so that the gap on the right and the left is equal. I look pretty close there, and then I just snug this plate up. And then I am done. It's pretty simple if you know the trick of pulling it forward. And now what we've got is a nice smooth action, not deflecting the shaft at all, which means we're perfect alignment, and it will feed nicely and properly, no binding.
And one of the other things you want to look at when you're replacing your feed dogs is you want to also make sure that your front bushing is in good shape. Sometimes a bushing, well, oftentimes the bushing will wear out, and so your shaft will actually move around, and that'll ultimately lead to your gears wearing out and being ruined. So pay attention to the bushings as well. They're very, very cheap, and it's easy to replace when you're in here, and that will also give you longer life on your feed screw and on your feed dogs. Anything else we want to cover?